Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview in association with Boohoo Man. Plenty of stuff going on their website, so if you want to go and check it out, please do. I'm joined by Ty Bracey in Boohoo Man attire, just like myself, to talk over Villa's trip to Anfield on Saturday at 3 p.m. Steven Gerrard's return, of course, to Liverpool, the club where he spent most of his career. Apologies for my vantage point here, but I've got a very needy blind dog who's had a bath and he's not very happy at all, and he only seems to be happy if he sat on me, so I've had to go with it. Ty, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. A bit under the weather, but plodding on, mate. Plodding on.
Yeah, and interesting game. First of all, I haven't really spoke to you. We haven't spoke to you since Gerrard got the job. It's been really good so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those things where people are a bit, ooh, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a good thing? Is it going to be a bad thing? But it's just the unknown, isn't it? It's a step in the right direction for him in the career path that he wants to take, and I think he's showing so far 9 points out of 12 and showing that he's the right man for Villa so far. So yeah, I'm over the moon, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's been as positive a start as we could have ever hoped for, really. When you think about 3 wins and how close we ran Man City, arguably could have taken a point quite easily from that game. I don't think any of us would really have envisaged that. Not only that start in terms of points, but in terms of performance, in terms of change and style, the tangible differences you can see in the style from Dean Smith, the progress that he's made with the midfield in a short space of time. There's an awful lot of boxes being ticked.
Yeah, I seen a stat the other day that since Steven Gerrard took over at Villa, only Manchester City and Liverpool have got more points than us in the league since he took over. So that's a great stat and gives us loads to look forward to. We definitely could have took something from Man City. I think that's the first game I've ever come out of where we've lost, where I've genuinely come out in a really good mood because we just played some really good football in the second half. And I just thought we can go toe-to-toe with anybody in this league if we show up on our day.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Saturday, isn't it? I think, again, we could all probably accept a defeat, but we want to see work rate, which we will see under Steven Gerrard. We want to see commitment to the cause. We want to see us go at it and make a game of it with Liverpool, just like we did against Manchester City. They've got an exceptional team, some exceptional players. Villa will go there and have a go, and if we lose and we come off the pitch having given it a good go and running them close again, I think most Villa fans will be happy.
Definitely, and one thing for me that's key is seeing 90 minutes of consistent football, and that's something that we've lacked probably a little bit in terms of, since we've had Dean Smith, it's been one of those things where we need a consistent 90 minutes of football, where we're playing good football for 90 minutes. With Man City, we probably weren't as good as we were in the first half as we were the second. It'd just be nice to see 90 minutes of consistent football from the boys. So let's hope we can show up against Liverpool. And Liverpool are playing some amazing football, and they're going to be no pushover. So it's going to be a tough one, mate. But I'm confident.
Yeah, because I think we can all agree that in 3 of the 4 games, the second half has been the better performance. I mean, I've been at all 4 games since Gerrard took over. Crystal Palace, I thought the first half, we were probably better than the second half. Not that we were particularly bad in the second half, actually. I think that was probably the most consistent display across 2 halves. But that feels like a Villa thing. That feels like it's been there for a while, that always having a one good half, one bad half. Do you know what I mean? That feels like it's been around for a while. That's not necessarily a Steven Gerrard thing.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. It was definitely a thing under Dean Smith as well. But one thing I noticed pretty much straight away from the first game of where Steven Gerrard had been in charge was that just the way we played football was completely different. If you looked at a kick-off from when we had Smith in charge, it was a hoof ball straight away from kick-off if we were kicking off. And, it isn't like that under Steven Gerrard, and you can see that. I mean, there's been some great compilations of some of the attractive football we're playing and the direct passing and, everyone getting into space. It's just been really refreshing to watch, because some games, even when we won under Smith, this isn't any slander to Dean Smith, by the way. It was just, I'd come out of some games quite frustrated at the type of football we were playing. And I enjoy watching Aston Villa under Steven Gerrard. We play attractive football. We're good on the ball. We've got the high press. We're pressuring the teams we're coming up against really well. We seem to be getting the best of John McGinn. I don't know what it is, but if John McGinn has a great game, I always feel like everybody else seems to have had a great game. I feel like it's something that comes hand in hand. If McGinn's had a good one, the team's had a good one.
Well, I thought that was McGinn's best ever display in a Villa shirt. So certainly in the Premier, I mean, you could say some of the Championship displays, but in the Premier League, I think that was his best display because he played like a complete midfielder. He did a little bit of everything. Some of his passing, I've not really seen that passing range. I know he's got a good pass in his locker, but we don't see his passing range as often as I would like. He played a couple of really lovely through balls, one for Watkins. It was a great bit of vision, a great ball, great run. Schmeichel saved it, but he just did a bit of everything, winning the ball back, pressing, playing those through balls, playing those key passes. He had a really, really strong game, and that was his best performance in a Villa shirt for me.
Just a complete tireless midfielder who gives everything. And that was, we seen glimpses of that when we first signed him. You could see his work rate was exceptional, and it's kind of fell off at times. I think in the last couple of years, he's had good games and bad games, and where when we came back from that COVID break, he didn't seem 100%. But it's been. I mean, there was rumours that Steven Gerrard had wanted McGinn a few years ago, and you can see exactly why and where he would have played him, and he's playing him, and he's getting the best out of him, which is unreal to see, because the best of John McGinn, that level where he's at the top of his game, it's very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and that midfield's been spot on really since Gerrard came. The improvement.
Nakamba.
Your man Nakamba. I don't know whether you watched the show on show of the week. Me and Dolan were talking about your blossoming relationship with Nakamba. Nakamba's followed you now, hasn't he, on social media?
Yeah, man. He likes everything. I mean,
you can tell he's followed you, because every other tweet he's praising marvellous Nakamba now, Tom.
Hey, I was praising him before he followed me on Twitter. That's unrelated.
He's gone up a level now, though.
Yeah, but he was somebody that went from the fringe, barely seeing any minutes at all. If the system had stayed the same, some would question whether he would stay wearing claret and blue. It was one of those things where we were 100%. We needed to strengthen the middle of the field. And don't get me wrong, I do think we need somebody in there. However, we're seeing a marvellous Nakamba that we've never seen before. We're seeing that the confidence is there. He's screaming at the fans, "Come on, let's hear you." He's really enjoying playing for Villa, and you can see it in his game, and he's giving 110%. And I'm just really happy to see Steven Gerrard getting the best out of everybody in the team. I really am.
Yeah, he's coming to his own a little bit. Nakamba feels like he's found a lot of confidence from somewhere. And, I would have said he might have been a fall guy under this regime, because I would have said his passing probably wasn't up to scratch. But even his passing, his range has been a lot better than I've thought. He's been a lot more progressive than I'd ever seen him be in a Villa shirt. But he's going to need to be on his game on Saturday against Liverpool, because they are on fire. Very, very good at Anfield. Arguably the best right back in the world at the moment, arguably the best forward player in the world at the moment in Salah. It's a concern coming up against Salah, but I do think we'll give them a go.
Definitely. And the problem is that they create chances from everywhere. If you look at the two top assisters in the league, you got Salah on 9 and Trent on 7. That's the top 2 in the league, and one of them's a right wing back. And Trent's in a class of his own at the minute. Him and Reece James, are playing some really great football from that position, and it's going to be really tough, mate. If Salah shows up, we're going to be in big trouble. But let's hope the defence come through and we give him another 7-2. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I'm really interested to see what we do with Trent, because the way we've played under Gerrard defensively, everything's been very, very narrow. The 2 10s behind the striker, and everyone kind of tucks in. Against Palace, the outside central midfielders, so it was McGinn and Ramsey in that game, they would come out when the fullbacks went forward and mark the wide players.
Yeah.
They might have to do that against Trent rather than actually doing it against Salah or Mane. They might have to do that against Trent and Robertson, because they're the ones that provide the width.
Yeah. You can see where the formation we play on versus off the ball seems to be a little bit different. It seems at times, where we go from that 4-3-3, sometimes we push to a 2 up top, depending on who's on the left and who's on the right, and one of them drifts in behind them two. It's an interesting system, but it's one that seems to be working. We're currently in 10th. There was people saying we were going to have a relegation battle. I mean, even I thought that was massively far-fetched. I think it was only like 8 or 9 games or 10 games in where people are like, "Oh yeah, we're in a relegation battle." I never thought we were going to stay in a relegation battle. I think anywhere in the top half is going to be our forte for the next few years. But we're playing some really good football. And as long as we show up on Saturday, if it's a loss, but we've give everything for 90 minutes. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that, as long as we're really going toe-to-toe with them and trying. Liverpool are playing some incredible football, as we've said, but as long as we show up, we can take a loss, exactly like with Man City. I came out of that Man City game absolutely feeling unreal, feeling like, do you know what? I actually really enjoyed watching that game. And it's not very nice to watch your team play against Man City because they play such possession-based football. You hardly get a sniff against Man City, in terms of possession. So as long as we show up, mate, and give the beans, I'm happy.
In fairness, I'm thinking, I said about Anfield, they are pretty ruthless there and dominant there usually. But Brighton went there not that long ago, 2-0 down, came back and got a 2-2. I like to think at the moment we're a better side than Brighton are and were at that time. So there's something to be had there. What do you think of all the furore around Gerrard going back? He'll be very much business as usual, Steven Gerrard. I'm sure he will give the Liverpool fans a clap and a wave. Absolutely. You would expect nothing different. If a ex-legend came back to Villa Park and they didn't do that to our fans, we'd be very upset. So, I think you're going to expect stuff like that. I don't think it'll be to the extreme of Gerrard Houllier. Rest in peace, Gerrard, who obviously, we're 3-0 down and he's still waving at the Liverpool fans. I don't think it'll be anything like that. But it's a big moment for him because it's the first time in his managerial career he's been back at Anfield. So to play against Liverpool is a huge moment for him. But it will be business as usual, won't it? Because Steven Gerrard's a ruthless man. There's no time for sentiment.
I think he'll definitely be some emotions going on inside him, 100%. But he is a no-nonsense type of guy, and you can see that in his interviews. I really enjoyed his interview with Carragher, actually, on Sky Sports. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. That was a good insight into things. But of course, he's going to give them a clap. But during that 90 minutes, mate, his head's going to be in it. He's going to be bang on with it. I have no doubt at all. From what we've seen so far, I have absolutely no doubt at all. He's not going to be a show pony for any Liverpool fans. I think we'll give him a clap for, probably do a lap on the pitch after, but he's going there as Aston Villa's manager, not Liverpool's legend.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the way of putting it. He is going there as Aston Villa's manager, not as the Liverpool icon that he is. And be interesting to see what he does if we were to win. He'll be celebrating goals if we score. Of course he will. He's the Aston Villa manager, as you say. You can see at the moment at Villa Park, he's kind of on the edge. You could see after the Leicester game, he wanted to come and give it the big one to the whole end, but he's stopping himself at the moment. He's a very passionate man, isn't he? But you can see he wants to do it. But I actually think he's not doing it because I think he's thinking, I need to show these Villa fans a bit more before I'm going and doing stuff like this, which I really like.
Yeah, I mean, we do need to, 100% I could see in that moment of why he'd want to do that, but we need to see a bit more than 4 games first. That a lot of managers come into clubs and they have a good run of fixtures, but I don't think any of our fixtures have been fluke. I think the only
there's something to, Dolan said it, there's something been had in every game. So Brighton hadn't lost away all season. Palace hadn't lost at home all season. Yeah. Man City are Man City. Not many teams run them close. I think Douglas Luiz created the highest amount of chances anyone's created against them all season. That's massive. And then to beat Leicester, to come from behind and win 2-1, that's a big thing to win from behind for Villa, because it feels like something, again, we've not been very good at for years. So, in every game, there's been something there's been something tangible to take away from every game.
I think it was the first time I've definitely seen a stat on it. I can't remember exactly, but there's definitely a stat of it's the first time we had won from when we had been behind in the Premier League for quite a big amount of time. So
it doesn't shock me that.
Yeah, it's just been a great start. It's been quite refreshing to be a Villa fan, and we've experienced on podcasts over the years, Dan, that it's been one of those things where we've had a podcast where we've literally waxed lyrical for an hour and been bouncing off each other, and then times where we're literally like, what on earth was that? And just as long as we see consistency in that regime, and we ain't going to see any nonsense from him. We're really not going to see any nonsense from him. And it is disrespectful to Villa, as Carragher said, that, to see us as a stepping stone. And I don't think he does see that. I think all he's focused on right now is where we're at right now, and the goal of the owners of where they see us in a few years' time, and it'll be interesting to see what business he does in January, I'll be honest. The transfer window's approaching. It's going to be interesting to see where he strengthens in the window.
I think we might see a couple of different faces across the next few games. Obviously, Christmas is always busy, but we've got a game Saturday against Liverpool, big game on Tuesday away at Norwich, Dean Smith Norwich as well. I know that Dean Smith. I know that Steven Gerrard, he wants to look at every player before we get to January. He wants to see what everyone's about. We've seen Chukwuemeka get on a couple of times. Sanson's had a couple of cameos as well now. So he wants, even Twanzebe came on for the last 10 minutes or so against Leicester. He wants to look at every player and see what they're about. So you will see some changes perhaps over the next two games, won't you? I mean, I think he'll keep it as strong as he can against Liverpool for sure. I'd expect Ashley Young to probably come in for Leon Bailey, and that'll probably be it, I would say. So probably would it be Ramsey and Young off? No, wouldn't it? Would be Buendia and Young. Wouldn't it? I'm getting confused because Target's back, isn't that what something was confusing me? I knew Young would play the last game. Target should be back. He'll come in at left back. You imagine Young will play. Perhaps he'll be someone to drift out and deal with Trent.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't think that he'll do it based on the last game's performance. I think how they perform in training has a lot to do with it as well, which is, of course, the right thing to do. So it's been great to see, I'll pronounce it how Twitter likes me to pronounce it, Morgan Sanson.
I like you pronouncing it like that as well.
It's a bit sexy, isn't it? It's just one of, he came on for that 10 minutes and he did really well the first time he came on as a sub. He was a bit quiet in the second time he came on as a sub against Leicester. But I've been really impressed that he's just getting some minutes. It's hard to make an impact with 10 minutes left in a game. But,
and he did.
People also need to understand that we bought him in the January transfer window last time because there was financial troubles at Marseille, and that's why we capitalised on it. He was supposed to be a player for the summer, just gone. And that's why we did our business early, because we've seen an opportunity of where he was available for a price that would have been completely different in the summer. So to get a player cheaper in the January transfer window, where prices are generally inflated because no one wants to lose a player halfway through a season, he's just been really unfortunate with injuries. So as you said, Dan, he's definitely going to be having a good look at his squad. See how it's all good performing one way in training, but it's going to be really important that they do that on the pitch in the games as well. So I do hope to see at least the 45 minutes out of Sanson in the next couple of games.
I think you'll see him start against Norwich.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
it wouldn't surprise
would
me.
have a point to prove, wouldn't he, against Dean Smith in his eyes, I would say as well. So I would say he got a high chance of starting that game, because you do have to rotate over Christmas. You can't just keep knocking out the same 11 week after week, game after game. It doesn't work over this period. You have to use your squad and utilise your squad, and Dean Smith will do that. Why do I keep saying Dean Smith? Steven Gerrard will do that, having an absolute
mate.
I said it once, because I mentioned his name once about Norwich, and now it's just there. It's just a habit, isn't it? It's come back into my head, and I can't get rid of it. At least on Tuesday we are playing against him, so if I keep saying his name, that'll be okay. Ings is back by the looks of things, back in training, but we wouldn't expect him to start. But good to have another striking option on the bench, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And Ollie Watkins has been really putting in some legs. I mean, I know he's always done that, but I feel like his work rate has gone massively under the radar. He has literally given absolutely everything in every single game, which has been great to see. I mean, I know we're used to that already, but it's just been really refreshing to see at Villa Park, him literally hungry, chasing the ball non-stop. He does not stop. So to have Ings come back, I mean, Ings is exactly the same. He puts in the work as well. He ain't afraid to chase down a ball either. It'll be interesting to see how Stevie G deals with those two together. Is it going to be one of them things where it's a rotation basis? Will he be putting Watkins wide? We're a bit short on the left wing, aren't we? With Leon Bailey being injured, and got a 36-year-old Ashley Young who essentially can cover, left back, right wing, left wing, centre mid. He's got
everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we'll see Watkins drift out. If he's in a position where they've both performed well in training and they're both fit, wouldn't surprise me if you see Ollie Watkins go on the left, personally.
Yeah, and interesting you mentioned Stevie G, Ty, because we are selling our Stevie G mugs at the moment on the Villa View shop. So if you want to get yourself one of them, I know I turned it the wrong way. If you want to get yourself one of them, check out our Villa View store and you can get yourself a Steven Gerrard mug along with some other mugs and pictures as well. I think that probably just about does us, Ty, but give me your score prediction for the weekend.
2-2.
2-2. I like it. I'm going to stick with my prediction that I gave on the Who Scored podcast this morning, and warning here, I have got the last 2 Villa scores perfect, bang on, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool. But we'll give them a game, and that's what we want to say. I mean, why is Adam the producer getting credit tonight in the comments? What's going on there? What's he done?
Can they see him?
Do people... I don't know, no, but what's he done? What's he done to get praise? I'm unsure. I mean, the guy's doing his job.
Listen, producer Adam is an unsung hero on the Villa View.
I agree.
You don't compliment anyone. Albie Theo Walcott. Adam Bates is the true hero.
I'm always complimenting people, but essentially tonight he's getting praise because I don't think there's been a mistake yet. He's just doing his job. No one's praising.
Adam told me I had to call you Albie Theo Walcott. By the way,
no, he didn't.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Nobody's praising me and you for talking because we're just doing what we're here to do. I mean,
look, I'm going to give producer Adam. Adam, you deserve all the credit in the world. Ignore this guy. I'm not going to swear, but you ignore Bardal, all right? Adam, you're doing a great job.
I mean, in fairness, I don't deserve any praise because I can't get the Villa's manager's name right through the podcast. So yeah, absolutely no praise due for me whatsoever. We will be back at some point in the next few days if Adam, the producer, doesn't walk out on us to do a post-match pint in association with Purity. So probably do that Sunday at some point, I would think. So watch out for that. And then there'll be a preview of Norwich as well in the lead up to that game. And then there'll be a post-match pint after Norwich as well. You get the drift of what we're trying to do here. So thanks ever so much for tuning in. Thanks to Ty for joining me. Good to see you, mate. I haven't spoken to you on here for a while, so always good talk Villa with you. And thanks to the hero, Adam, as well. My God, how much credit does he deserve for this evening? Thanks so much, Adam. Enjoy.